I think it's reform in the sense that we are being tougher in terms of opening up other markets, pushing for reciprocity, leveling the playing field, all of which is good. And in fact, as you know, we're a big open market here relative to other countries, so our tariffs tend to be higher. We have fewer non-tariff barriers. So that's a good thing if the result is, in fact, lowering tariffs, because we're telling other countries, hey, unless you agree to allow our products to go there and open up your market, then we're going to do something reciprocally to you. The problem is that it could result in a spiraling of more trade barriers, including higher tariffs. So that's the trick. And I do think the president's ultimate goal is the right one, which is to shake things up and ensure we can have a, more of a fair shake for our workers and our exporters, our service providers, our farmers. But the risk is, in the process, you may end up with countries, as Canada is now saying they're doing, the EU is doing, raising their own tariffs, and you get this sort of a spiral that some have called a trade war, which of course benefits nobody. But look, I think he's a reformer. I think he's trying to change it. Right. And I think the results are not yet in. Yeah, the use of the stick as opposed to the carrot, I suppose, is one way to look at it. Mr. Kudlow said a couple of other things that I want to get your quick reaction to. He said that the world trade system has broken down. It is broken, specifically in terms of fairness, reciprocity, and free trade. I want to get your reaction to that. And he also said that the WTO is completely ineffectual. Your thoughts? Well, first of all, I'm glad that your former colleague Larry Kudlow is down there, because he does believe in trade. He understands the importance of economic growth related to more exports and having fairly traded imports. So he's a good influence. Second, with regard to WTO, he's right in the sense that the WTO has had a more difficult time finding the consensus that it needs to be able to move forward. The WTO is a consensus-based organization. When I was U.S. Trade Rep, I dealt with them a lot. At that time, we were able to get more done. It's become more difficult. I'm not sure that's any different than it is in this country, with more division, ability to find consensus being harder. But look, I think there's an opportunity with all of the unpredictability out there right now for us to take this and end up with a fairer trading system in the sense of more reciprocity. But I'm afraid that right now you see the risk of that growing, that there will be the opposite reaction, which will be higher barriers that might not be taken down. So we just got to be careful how we approach it. And again, I'm glad Larry Kudlow's there to help to guide that. And it's the risk of spiraling I want to get to, Senator Portman, your fellow Ohioan, Sarah here. As you know, Ohio is the 9th biggest exporting state in this country. We export everything from vehicle parts, aircraft and machinery, electric machinery, plastics, even grains. And our top trading partners are Canada and Mexico. Do you think there's going to be a political cost to this president's strategy of imposing tariffs? Forget if you agree with him or not on the strategy to be tough and open up trade barriers for states like Ohio. But if it continues at this rate and continues to spiral and more trade barriers and tariffs go up and other countries retaliate more, do you think that's going to cost Republicans? Well, it's a good question. We'll talk about it separately in terms of the politics. But first, with regard to the policy issue, Ohio is dependent on trade, as is every state, by the way, but particularly Ohio with regard to Canada. It's our largest trading partner by far. Mexico's number 2, Canada's number 3. So we want more exports. Why? It's good jobs. They're higher paying jobs. They pay on average 18% more, better benefits. So we do need to open up more of those markets. I have been someone who has taken this balanced position of saying, let's be tougher on enforcement. We passed the Level Playing Field Act, as you know. It was my bill along with Sherrod Brown. That's helping to protect jobs right now. But it's based on unfair trade. In other words, it's not just saying we're going to raise tariffs just because we can, but we're saying we're doing it because you are dumping or you are subsidizing, and that's unfair under our laws and under the international trading system, the WTO. So that's the balance. You have to end up with a system where you're actually reducing barriers overall. So that's really important. The politics of it, we'll see. I mean, the politics of trade are complicated, aren't they? I mean, most people believe that we're not getting a fair shake. And even farmers I spoke to last week, who might be the group that you would think would be most affected by this in terms of other countries like China and the EU and Canada saying they're going to put higher tariffs on our farm products from Ohio, soybeans to China as an example, pork to Europe and so on. Those are some of the people who believe that, we're not getting a fair shake, and they're willing to see if the president can work something out here, because they don't think that there is a level playing field now. And you know what? In many instances, they're right. I mean, we allow more products in on the ag side at lower tariffs than other countries do. The EU is a great example of that. They have so many non-tariff barriers as well as higher tariffs on our products. So I think the politics of it are not as simple as it might seem.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.